Hello everyone and a very warm welcome back to MooTechie. It's a pleasure to have you join us as we explore a topic that's truly at the heart of daily life, the microbiology of the cereals and bakery products we all know and love. Get ready to discover the unseen world that affects the bread on your table and the snacks in your pantry. Now, let's begin our presentation. Microbiology of cereal and cereal products. A wide range of cereal products are manufactured for our consumption. This includes everything from bakery items and refrigerated dough to fresh pasta, dried cereals, snack foods, and baking mixes. Unfortunately, these products are subject to physical, chemical, and microbiological spoilage. This spoilage affects the taste, aroma, leavening, appearance, and the overall quality of the final product that reaches you, the consumer. Now, microorganisms are everywhere in nature and have the potential to cause both food spoilage and foodborne disease. But here's a reassuring fact. Compared to other food categories, bakery products very rarely cause food poisoning. This is largely because the heat applied during baking or frying usually eliminates pathogenic and spoilage microbes. Furthermore, the low moisture content in many of these products contributes to their stability. The quality and safety of these products are a major concern for producers, quality control authorities, and for you, the consumer. The economic impact is significant. Beyond the direct losses from spoilage, possible foodborne illnesses could cost the industry billions of dollars due to health effects, lost productivity, medical expenses, and most damagingly, adverse publicity. For many years, spoilage and stales in the baking industry have amounted to a staggering 10% of total production volume. It's important to note that staling, which makes bread hard and crumbly, is a physicochemical change, not a microbial one. But it still contributes massively to economic loss. Thankfully, only a small group of microorganisms is responsible for most cereal product spoilage. So who are the usual suspects? Molds are the most common culprits, especially in baked goods. This is because of their remarkable ability to grow at the relatively low water activity levels found in these products. Let's look at the typical shelf life for various cereal products. For bread, it's 5 to 7 days at room temperature, 1 to 2 weeks in the refrigerator, and 3 months in the freezer. Donuts last 4 to 5 days at room temperature and 3 months frozen. Dry pasta can last up to 2 years at room temperature. Pies and pastries are more delicate. Unbaked, they last 3 days refrigerated and 4 to 6 months frozen. Baked, they last 1 to 2 months frozen. Cream pies last only 2 to 3 days in the fridge and 3 months frozen. Pizza lasts 3 to 4 days refrigerated and 1 to 2 months frozen. White rice lasts a year at room temperature, while cooked white rice lasts 5 to 7 days in the fridge and 6 months frozen. Brown rice has a shorter shelf life of 6 months at room temperature. And waffles last 4 to 5 days refrigerated and 1 month frozen. NA means not applicable. Now let's meet the specific microbes behind the spoilage. The table shows us the organisms and the havoc they wreak. In the fungi category, Aspergillus causes black mold on bread and a dangerous black mold rot in grains which can produce aflatoxin. Candida causes a yeasty spoilage in breads. Clostridium causes a brown or black mold rot. Claviceps purpura causes ear rot in corn and grain, leading to ergotism and black rot in breads. Fusarium causes pink mold rot in corn, producing fuminescence. Penicillium is famous for its blue-green mold on breads. Rhizopus causes black mold. And yeast like Saccharomyces and Zygosaccharomyces cause yeasty spoilage in breads and pastas. On the bacteria side, Bacillus can cause a slimy spoilage in bread. And Clostridium can cause a condition known as ropey bread. Now let's focus specifically on bakery products. There's a wonderful variety, from leavened and unleavened breads to rolls, buns, croissants, English muffins, and crumpets. These products are typically baked at temperatures high enough to destroy all vegetative bacteria, yeasts, and molds inside. Most baked goods also have a dry outer crust that helps prevent the growth of bacteria that might recontaminate the product after it leaves the oven. Because they are so rarely involved in food poisoning, bread and most baked goods are not considered high-risk foods. However, don't be fooled, bakery products are highly perishable. Their nearly neutral pH, relatively high moisture content, and storage at ambient temperatures create a favorable environment for spoilage microorganisms to grow. Ambient temperatures, a pH between 5.4 and 7.5, and a water activity between 0.75 and 0.98 all promote spoilage by mold, yeast, and rope bacteria. Water activity is a particularly critical factor. Many bakery products like breads and cakes have levels above 0.94. While the molds themselves are often harmless, their visible presence deters customers and leads to substantial economic losses. When it comes to mold and yeast spoilage, mold growth is by far the biggest spoilage problem. Yeast is a much less prominent cause, but growth of either can lead to unsightly surface spoilage. Although staling limits the shelf life of bread, this is often cut short by rapid mold growth. Mold spoilage starts as white, filamentous, or fuzzy colonies. These gradually turn various colors, from blue-green to black, as spores are produced. Typically, untreated bread will become moldy within just 5 to 6 days. Surface yeast growth can create white or pink patches. Now we must talk about a serious concern: mycotoxins. These are toxic secondary metabolites produced by many mold species during their growth. While not directly involved in the spoilage itself, the potential presence of mycotoxins in grains and cereal products is a lingering worry, given how often these materials get moldy. Specific spoilage fungi like Aspergillus and Fusarium produce these toxins on food commodities. A historical example is Claviceps purpurea, contaminated rye, which caused people to hallucinate, a condition known as ergotism. The principal mycotoxins include aflatoxin, produced by Aspergillus flavus, and A. parasiticus. Fumonizins, produced by Fusarium verticilioides, and deoxynivalenol, also known as DON or vomitoxin, produced by F. graminearum, are also major concerns. Other fungal toxins like cyclopiazonic acid in peanuts, zearalenone from corn, and ochratoxin from coffee and grains can be worrisome in specific ingredients. The public health effects are complex and serious. Some mycotoxins are carcinogenic, some are vasoactive, and some cause central nervous system damage. Often, a single toxin can cause more than one type of harm. Despite bakery products commonly spoiling with visible mold, the presence of mycotoxins in these products is not considered a major public health problem. And why is that? For centuries, consumers have been educated not to eat moldy or otherwise spoiled food. The people truly at risk are those who are economically or environmentally forced to consume moldy grains to avoid starvation. Typical mold genera involved in spoilage are Penicillium, Aspergillus, Cladosporium, Fusarium, Monilea, Endomyces, Rhizopus, and Mucor. Yeasts that cause surface spoilage include Saccharomyces, Dibaryomyces, Chloiveromyces, Pichia, Candida, and Zygosaccharomyces. So where do these microbes come from? Typically, post-process contamination is responsible. Although baking destroys all yeasts and molds, products are readily recontaminated from the air, equipment surfaces, and handling during cooling, slicing, and packaging. The types and numbers of yeast and mold present depend entirely on the hygienic conditions of the manufacturing environment. Ambient air usually has enough mold spores to cause spoilage, making virtually all bakery products vulnerable. Sources of contamination include the natural presence in ingredients and contaminated food contact surfaces like shelves, racks, conveyor belts, and slicers. It can also come from workers who handle dough and then touch the baked product, or from surfaces that contact both raw dough and the finished product. Unsanitary equipment is a major source. Several factors influence spoilage. These include the type of product, its ingredients, the leavening source, the size of the bakery, and the conditioning and packaging methods used. Control of moisture and water activity is absolutely critical for microbial stability. Molds and yeasts are more tolerant of low water activity than bacteria. This is precisely why bread spoils from mold rather than bacteria. Most molds won't grow significantly below a water activity of 0.80, but some are very resistant to dry conditions. The yeast Zygosaccharomyces rooksii is especially osmotolerant. A common mistake is wrapping warm bakery products too soon after baking. This leads to condensation on the package and the product surface, which promotes mold and yeast growth. So how do we prevent and control this? Excellent post-baking hygiene is key. This includes aseptic conditions with sterile air, packaging, and equipment surfaces. Other methods include post-baking treatments to destroy contamination and designing products to prevent growth by having low water activity, using preservatives, or having a low pH. Implementing good manufacturing practices and excellent sanitation programs, especially in high-volume production, is essential. These programs minimize microbial contamination for ingredients and finished products. Raw materials should be carefully assessed as prime sources of contamination. A challenge is that yeasts tend to be more resistant to disinfectants and preservatives than molds, making them harder to control. For disinfecting surfaces, quaternary ammonium compounds are preferred over hypochlorite because they are more effective at suppressing yeast cells. Other vital measures include the proper storage of raw materials and implementing hygienic measures to reduce the number of mold spores. This involves regularly cleaning floors, walls, and ceilings to prevent accumulations of flour dust, dough pieces, and crumbs. Packaging is a powerful tool. Packaging products as soon as possible after baking and sealing them at temperatures high enough to destroy mold spores can prevent contamination. Canned fruit cakes are a good example. Packaging in a sterile atmosphere is another effective method. Some innovative bakeries even use special heat-resistant laminated films to package the product before baking. The product is baked at a lower temperature and sealed right after leaving the oven, perfectly preventing post-baking contamination. Post-baking treatments can also be effective. These include heat treatments or ultraviolet irradiation. Another advanced treatment is ionizing radiation or cold pasteurization. Small doses of radiation can eliminate dangerous bacteria like Salmonella, Staphylococcus aureus, and E. coli O157H7. While irradiation is used more for meat, poultry, and produce, its use in cereal products has been limited. Other methods to control microbial growth involve reducing the water activity of the baked good, using chemical antimicrobial agents, modified atmosphere packaging, and refrigeration. Reformulating products to reduce water activity has been fairly successful in reducing mold growth. However, this can sometimes lead to a decline in the eating quality, texture, and appearance of the product. Humectants like sugars or glycerine can be used to achieve this. And that brings us to the end of our presentation. Thank you. We've journeyed through the invisible world that interacts with our daily bread, from the common mold spotting on a loaf to the serious hidden threat of mycotoxins. We've seen how crucial factors like water activity and post-baking hygiene are in the fight against spoilage. Understanding this delicate balance is key to producing the safe, high-quality cereal products we all enjoy. Thank you for your time and curiosity. Keep learning, and we look forward to seeing you in the next session.